welcome back to the SuperCoach Enough channel. In this video, we're going to do our round one review of SuperCoach BBL for 2023-24. I guess an interesting week, as it always is with the first week, and I guess particularly this first week, given the amount of games and the doubles and the triple game week that didn't quite work out. But 1,155 for me this week, which was good enough for the top 7%, so 3,612 ranked. And I know I did see a few projections that were a bit higher, but I'll be honest, I haven't really had a look at the rest of the competition or really how my team entirely panned out. But that's a good sign that I got a winner, 3 out of 3 league wins. I know I was playing the same bloke twice, which was helpful. But if we have a look, so we've got Sam Billings with 56, so averaging 28, which is maybe about what we're expecting, except we were expecting the third game. Ben McDermott with 21 in his one game was okay, but obviously didn't play for us. Colin Munro with a 190, so he had that massive first game where he got 99 not out. And I was a bit filthy at that point. I had the VC on him. I was hoping Ness would stay away, but obviously, as you can see, he did play. But I guess some players would have used the VC loophole with someone like Munro, and that probably explains the higher rank. Aaron Hardy with the 85, so obviously impacted by the washout game that they started. So he did score 20 points, but I know a lot of other players did score 0 off the back of that. Maxwell with the 73 and then got injured after his 73, so didn't play the second game. But as the most highly owned player in the comp, I don't think that really affected us too negatively. Josh Philippe with an even 100, so did have the one good inning, which is, I guess, the reason why we had him in, is he's capable of that. And Josh Brown with a 14. So I've just noticed all the prices are up and down. So I must just go off the one game because he only played in that third game, given the second game was washed out. I guess after missing out on the first 2 games, it would have been nice for him to miss the third one because we did have Fraser McGurk on our emergency, and with the 73, excuse me, with the 73 was would have been a nice score to get, but wasn't to be. Nessa with 105, so not too bad as a solid captaincy option, but obviously we had better options in the team. Behrendorf, so he's one of them we talked about, scored 108 in the one game he actually got to do something in, but because he was named in the Renegades game and promptly got a 0, that ruined his average. So 54 average, but that 0 was the first game of theirs, so won't affect his 3-round average for too long. Xavier Bartlett, so he was the player I brought in, tossing up between the extra hit bowlers. As it turned out, Swepson, Kuhneman, Spencer Johnson all played. Wasn't quite expecting their lineup to look like that, so the fact that he got 156 points, was a really good result for us. Adam Zampa with a 62 in the one game that he did feature, which is good. And Paul Walter, so wasn't really sure what to expect, but the fact that they got him listed at 6, and also he bowled a few overs and was quite good. I guess when you're actually as tall as he is, they were calling him Tall Paul on the commentary. I think that's a solid investment. Jamie Overton didn't play obviously because of the washout. And Tanvir Sangha looked really good in his one game, got 94 points. But I guess he's definitely a cheapie to get onto. All right, where do we go from here? I think we'll have a look at all the games first. So there you go, you can see the wins, which is nice. We'll just quickly go back through all the matches. There's quite a few, so we'll try to get through them quickly. So the first game where the Heat dominated the Stars, so I guess the Heat looked really good. The Stars look like they're going to have another tough season, particularly if Maxwell is out for an extended period with that elbow or wrist injury or whatever it was on his arm. But yeah, Munro with 99 not out was great. Schwepson with 93, he looked really good. So anyone who had Schwepson, I think he would have been one of the highest scorers for the round. Sorry, the storm clouds are rolling in. Just keep an eye on things outside. Bartlett was 75. As we picked out the other bowlers, he was probably the one to get on. Khawaja was solid, but obviously he's now for the Test team. Same deal with Labuschagne. And Hilton Cartwright did okay for the Stars as it turned out, but very little to speak about other than that. The Sixers and the Renegades, that was a decent game. Will Sutherland obviously doing the business with bat and ball, so I know a lot of people got on him as that all rounder at the Renegades. Um, he has been captaining Victoria, I think they said, so probably has a bit more responsibility and is starting to sort of show that with his output. Um, so one we could consider going forward. They do have three in the next 2 game weeks. Um, so we'll have to just see how the funds stack up. Fraser McGurk example we had, and then tails off a bit. But Steve Smith obviously was awesome, but now playing for Australia. Dorcius, so I think he did all right in the other game too. So we'll just have to have a look at, keep an eye on his prices. Silk was okay. After that it starts to tail off a bit. If you had Sean Abbott, probably not the return you wanted from him for the price. Adelaide, Brisbane was obviously a complete washout, so nothing there. Scorchers and Renegades was the pitch was affected, so as you can see, only a few uh, Scorchers got a bat that game. Obviously, having Sutherland was useful because he bowled. Must have got one of the 2 wickets just looking at the scores. Um, and De Kock was back in early. I didn't realise that. I didn't actually see this game, so it's been a busy week. Sixers against the Hurricanes, so again getting the win. So Tommy Curran went well. So yeah, Dawson was 78. That's super consistent from him. Dan Hughes was good. Jack Edwards looks like he'll get all-rounder status. So what's his price at now? So 76k, still a cheapie. If you're looking for a cheap all-rounder, could go a lot worse than him. And for the Hurricanes, so Corey Anderson bowled a bit. I think he was forced to because of Wally Meredith got injured from memory. But also some late order runs with the bat would be nice. So another one that could get all-rounder status, but yeah, is a bit more expensive. The Heat and the Thunder. So again, the Heat are too good. So Bartlett top scored. So great pick by me. But Schwepson was up there, which was good. Walter was good. Kuhneman's been solid, but I don't think quite. I guess he's outscored Nasser in both games. I think so. That's something. Munro good with the bat. Uh, yeah, Spencer Johnson disappointing across the 2 games, but he'll bounce back. TMV Sangles, Chris Green, those late order runs with the back, trying to give Thunder a chance, boosted his score. Khan, looked okay, but obviously 55 is not spectacular. Oh, as the wind's picking up outside. I might have to go save some furniture in a second. And the final game, actually, it's got real dark. I've just noticed on the camera. I might have to turn some lights on. We'll quickly get the last game out of the way, and then we'll do a bit of an edit and get part 2 in. Oop, good. So Liam Dawson with the 63 was the best for the Stars, and did look quite good, but I guess just not much going on around him. But yeah, Barendorf was good. Connolly with the bat and the ball looks useful. Mackenzie, so I did have him as a cheapie pre-season. He would have gone up in price after that effort. So it looks like he is one to definitely get on. Richardson, solid with the ball. Hardy, all rounder, nice. Inglis, Ty, Ekanazi, all doing a bit. All right, so after the look at the round one games, we should probably have a look at the league and how that went. So I was triumphant over the Kane train. So the Kane train, Will Sutherland was a good pickup for them, 177. Wow. Jai Richardson as captain might have cost a few points there. Obviously, having Munro is nice. Kane Richardson probably didn't work out. Spencer Johnson, I guess comparing to Bart, that definitely didn't work out. Sam Harper was always a bit of a gamble, not one I would be keen on. And AJ's high, he'll come good. So a couple of monster scores here. So Dave's Darlings will feel pretty hard done by not getting the chockies with 1,300 points for the round. But Feel the Thunder was a little bit better with 1,338. Also, probably feeling a bit aggrieved. Wait, is that is really belting down outside now? Ooh, jeez. Sorry. So, Captain Will Sutherland, that's a great pick from Feel the Thunder. Majib probably balanced that out a little bit, but having Kuhneman was nice. Hardy, Maxwell, I reckon they had both had Schwepson, awesome. Both had Munro, Walter. Oh, didn't have Nessa, which is interesting. There you go. I guess if I'd went with Schwepson or um, even Kuhneman, I think over Nessa would have been a better return. But there's some good returns there, which is awesome. I forgot to check benches, but yeah, Connolly on the bench, that's another good get. I'll just quickly go back to the Kane train. Who do they have on the bench? So a couple of strikers ready to go. Saltzman must just be a cheap option. Yep, 42k, that makes sense. Had Connolly as well, nice. So we'll just look at Bring It On and the Sloggers. So the Sloggers getting Will Sutherland in, Tommy Curran. It's a great pickup. Schwepson, I guess balanced out by Johnson and McSweeney maybe to a degree. And Sean Abbott, not doing so great. Both had Abbott, that's interesting. Josh Brown, yeah, I was on Josh Brown, so I feel your pain. Linda, so another message. Yeah, yep. It's all happening this afternoon. It's going to be a ordinary video with all the edits, but 1 second. Yep, there we go. Happy wife, happy life. Just talking about the Storm. And another high scoring game. So yeah, kick ass would have beat me this week, but unfortunately it was against Professor S. So Professor S. Joe Clark didn't quite work out as a pick, but when you get close to 1,300, I think you're doing okay. So VC'd Munro and used the loophole. Brilliant. I was waiting for someone to pull that off. So I had Chowdhury. Yep, fantastic. Congratulations, Professor S. Kuhneman. Yep, so I did outscore Nessa, which is a nice get. So kick ass probably, yeah, no, Spencer Johnson wasn't helpful. Hardy getting washed out wasn't helpful. Cooper Connolly has the emergency as well. That's a nice pickup. Um, so both had Sutherland. So a lot of people got Sutherland, so they all got those points, which is nice. Tommy Curran's pretty popular too. I understand that. Okay, cool. Yes, we've covered the 4 games. Might just have a sneaky. I won't do this very often, but just to see what other teams have got. Going into DR's league where I was playing the Cane Trains as well. See if there's any other high scoring teams. So 1349 Griff SC looks pretty good. Captain Hardy. So Sutherland, Munro, Bartlett. Fantastic. So I'm not doing pretty well compared to some of those guys. A couple of 12 big 1200s. Yeah, so I think that sort of makes sense where we landed overall. In that, was it 3,600? All right, so on to trade. So next week, you got the Adelaide Strikers have double the Stars blank. So we might need to use Maxwell's money. So I'm not saying to just throw him straight on the bench, but we will swap him for Short. That's the reason why we were carrying Darcy Short was for these two games. Overton can swap with someone. Maybe it's a stiff call, but maybe Bartlett, despite averaging 78. Um, all right, and then we do have four trades because we do have a boost, and as we've talked about, we're going to be aggressive with the trades this year. We're going to boost. So I guess the play is to try and get a few Adelaide strikers in. We don't want to overcapitalise because round three, the strikers as well as the Heat, who we loaded up on, both have bye. Stars and the Renegades have the double. So I think, we are going to maybe target a couple of Renegades players. And the two obvious ones are De Kock, who we've wanted all the preseason, and also Will Sutherland looks like a key piece of the Renegades puzzle. So we'll bring him in. So, whether we do one this week, one next week, and then that leaves us with two or three for the strikers players we want to bring in. So what I'm thinking is we're going to use Nessa's money. So Nessa's out, and that's going to allow us, if we sort by price, to get Matt Short in. Opening the batting for the strikers alongside Darcy Short. Probably will bowl some overs with his off spin, given they don't have Rashid Khan, so they're going to mix and match a bit, I think, with their spin bowling options. Um, After that, we need to. Who are we going to trade? Well, I guess if we're going to bench him, we might just cash out on Bartlett. He's made us a bit of cash, which is nice. I think I might have to check the break even first. So let's lock that trade in. Negative 19. Oh, so he's going to make money in this next game. So he should have a look at all of their break evens. Might be a smart way of doing it. So Munro with a negative break even. Got to keep him. Hardy's with decent enough break even. Paul Walter at 2 is good. Negative. Zampa, yeah, but he's a renegade, so we want to hang on to him. Uh, so maybe no cancel. Based on our break evens, we'll definitely trade out of Barendorf, use his money. I think Billings we can get rid of because we do want to bring in De Kock. So go to the highest price. So Quentin De Kock, so nice little dip in price too, which is handy for us. I guess that probably means we could wait as well, given that he did play that one game. 87. Well, let's get ourselves a bit. Steve Smith, 275. That's disgusting. How good that is. Round 1 points. So Will Sullivan, will bring him in the picture for sure. It gives us 130 to spend on a batter, but we do have the option of flipping. So let's have a look at the strikers. I think might be the best play. See what we've got. So Baisley's probably too expensive, as good as he could be as an all-rounder option. Hose, I think, is more middle order type player. Play 4 or 5, so might give that a miss. Chris Lynn's probably a bit too expensive for just a pure batter. Jake Weatherall. So I'm pretty sure they said Darcy Short and Matt Short are going to open. So the top three would be Short, Lynn. I guess Hose would be four. I think from the team list I saw the squad, probably Jake Weatherall to bat four or five. So it might be worth a punt on him potentially, or we could look at Harry Nielsen as the wicket keeping option while Alex Carey is playing for Australia. All right, let's switch it up and have a look at the bowling options. So, Wes Agar, you think would be a lock in the team? Basic could play that all-round role. I do like Menenti. I think he'll come in, bowl some spin. Without Rashid Khan, and he does score late order runs potentially as well. So out of all the bowlers, he was probably the handiest with the bat. So if we then want to go David Payne or Adam Harper, it's probably Payne, just for the bowlers. Always there seems to be that average towards the bowlers. So it looks like okay, we'll get rid of Payne for a second because it looks like I can get rid of Brown, swing forward short, and then I can use Payne. So let's have a look at how we've gone with those four trades. So we've got Philippi and McDermott. So we still don't have the cock, but we're going to give him one more game to dip in price and hit him hard on the double. So we've got short, Munro, Sutherland, Hardy, Fraser McGurk is the extra. I think that's pretty good. Zampa, Payne, Overton, Menanti. So the three strikers. Paul Walter, Bartlett, and Sanger. So we could even play Sanger over Walter potentially. They are playing against Adelaide at Adelaide Oval, so it'd be a decision we'd have to make sooner rather than later. But maybe yet. Don't know. All right, we'll go with this for the time being. I think just to see how it all looks. Captaincy, I think we've got a captain Matt Short, don't we? Double game week, opening the batting, can bowl. Um, and then after that, maybe Overton. So yeah, so something like that. Again, maybe we should try and use the loophole. Do we have Maxwell's on the buy, so we could VC short, but he does play also in the last game. So if he misses the first game, you run your loophole. You do run the risk of him going nuts, but at the same time, it does give you a chance to look at a potential other captain that could go off. So I think what we're going to do is we'll actually captain Hardy. Have a look at the Tuesday night game. If Short's going all right, we'll bring Maxwell in for, anyone, probably maybe Munro, put the emergency on him. I don't think it really matters which way we do that. Um, but yeah, and then obviously take Matt Short as the captain. So I think it's a bit easier with the buy. It was a bit hard last week because we didn't play the loophole option, but it looked like it was a great option for already forgotten the team, but VC and Munro was the way to go. Alright, so it's been a bit of a long video, a bit of an interrupted video. I do apologise for that. Looks like the storm is pretty well cleared. There's blue sky outside, which is nice. Actually, probably one other thing to look at is the trades. So I should have gone before I did the trades, but we'll go to players. Traded out, it's the most popular. So Maxwell out. So maybe there is something more to his injury. I will have a look into that. But we've managed to hold him, which, if he's good to play in the next game, is a win for us. We don't have to waste a trade there, or two trades. There's Stoinis. I think, yeah, if you had him, get rid of him. Johnson, yeah, I think any of these Brisbane Heat players that were somewhat underperforming, Nessa getting 100 isn't the worst, but the fact you can use his money, and now he's only got 5 games left in the rest of the season. Um, Yeah, I can't imagine myself holding too many Heat players in the back half of the season because they're going to have a couple of buys. Mitchell Marsh, yep, he's in the test team, scored well today, so yep, get rid of him. Hayden Kerr, I mean, hasn't got the worst draw going forward, hasn't got the best draw, so do what you want with him. I guess the zero means that he didn't play, so in that case, yeah, get rid of him. Sean Abbott, he'll come good. Stick solid with him, unless you're using the money to get to Matt Short. I think is the only argument that you could have for trading Sean Abbott. Sam Harper, yeah, I don't like the look of him as a super coach option. Get rid of him. Agar's not playing. Get rid of him. Absolutely. So good to see people are onto it. Trade ins. Matt Short makes sense. Will Sutherland again, maybe a bit chasing the points, but the upcoming fixture is good. The cash gen he'll come up with is good. Cooper Connolly, I think, yep. If you're looking for a cheap option, um, yeah, you can definitely go with him. If maybe say for example Menenti doesn't play, I don't think I've got the cash for it because it was pretty tight. But using Cooper Connolly as that cheap enabler to get a short in, or a Sutherland, or even a Cock, can totally get on board with. Tanvir Sanger, I think yeah, if you wanted him, you should have had him from the start. But again, he's still cheap enough. Bring him in. Munro, probably chasing points. Again, the Heat don't have a lot of games going forward. So as good as Schwepson was, I'm not bringing him in for that reason. He just doesn't play enough games to justify bringing him in. Darcy Short, yeah, bring him in. Baisley, probably just too expensive. Like we'll play both games, I think. Um, Particularly when you look at the bowling options for the strikers, there's not a lot of batting sort of bowling all rounder type options. So he might have his nose in front there. Hamish McKenzie, I do like as a pick, and Jake Face McGurk, I think is a good pick too. So again, those cheap enablers, they're probably in the right order, really, with Connolly, all rounder, fairly cheap. TNV saying they're slightly more expensive, but note and quantity. Fraser McGurk, you know, on fire with the bat, and Hamish McKenzie, just as a completely unknown mystery type spinner. So the more I look at Connolly and McKenzie, I think maybe I should get one of them in instead. You know, because yeah, if we go back to the team, we've got Bartlett and Walter both on the bench. That's a lot of money sitting on the bench where we could have one of those cheaper options. And it's like, well, who do we pay for? So again, it might just be we'll wait until the 19th, have a look at the team. If Menenti is out, swap him for McKenzie. I think makes sense. And then I'll probably swap McKenzie onto the bench and bring in Walter, I think. So I should probably change the emergency there. I think that's a smarter play. I think, yeah, we'll keep Maxwell as that emergency vice captain loophole this week. Pretty happy with the batting lineup as it is. Yeah, so we'll run with that. But there might be a change just depending on Adelaide's team list once we actually get to see it. All right, but we'll wrap the video up there. A bit of a long one, bit of an interrupted one, as I said. But as always, thank you for watching. If you've got any thoughts, comments, questions, feel free to get them below the video. If you enjoy the BBL content, remember give the video a like, subscribe for all of the fantasy content. And other than that, we'll catch you in the next one.